Hello, my dears. In this episode of my channels, Makers and Culture in Austria, I invite you into a story that reaches far beyond fashion. It is a story about roots, values, and the quiet power of a loving family. It centers on my dear colleague, fashion designer and couture maker Michelle Schuster, whose life and work reflect what becomes possible when a child grows up surrounded by support and encouragement. At the heart of this documentary lies a simple yet profound truth. A tight-knit family shapes who we become. Michelle was raised in a home where values were lived, not only spoken, where individuality was cherished, where talents and abilities were nurtured, where joy and commitment guided every task, and where love for God and His creation, our pure nature, was part of everyday life. As you follow Michelle's journey, you'll see how deeply these foundations matter. You'll witness how a child transforms when their creativity is believed in, how confidence grows when parents recognize a spark, and how, as adults, we carry the voices of our mentors, those who uplifted us, inspired us, and helped us discover what we were made to do. Michelle was born in Germany, but her story forms roots in Transylvania, a land of rich tradition and heritage. She brings those traditions with her, not only through her craft, but even through small tokens of home. In fact, for this episode, she brought the legacies lovingly made by her grandmother and mother, reminding us that culture is often carried in the most intimate, homemade ways. Throughout this episode, you will see glimpses of Michelle's life, her intricate couture work, and the artistic soul shaped by the values she grew up with. And at the conclusion of this episode, you will step into the vibrant energy of Vienna Fashion Week 2025, where I filmed the debut of her first collection. A moment that marks the beginning of her journey into the international stage. I invite you to watch Michelle's story, to experience her words, and to meet a beautiful soul behind the craft. Enjoy watching.
Hello, my name is Michelle Schuster. I was born in Germany, but when I was 3 years old, my parents moved back to Transylvania. So my mother is Romanian, my father is half Hungarian, half Saxon. That's why my name is Schuster. I grew up in a big family with 5 siblings, so I always had many people around me. We grew up at a farm, at a bio farm with lots of animals in a small village in Transylvania, and my parents put a lot of value on eating healthy, on a healthy lifestyle, on sustainability, on tradition, but in a healthy way, and this plays a very big role even now in my life. So when did I know to decide that I wanted to be a designer or a dressmaker, better said? Creativity runs in my family. My parents, they're both incredibly creative. My mother, she makes such beautiful bouquets and arrangements. Even for my wedding, she did all the decorations, even my wedding bouquet, and it was far over my expectations. It was so beautiful. There is nobody I match more in creativity as with my mother. She sustains me. Even now, she collects so many fabrics for me. Whenever I have a question, she's the first I call for advice. Yes, I'm very blessed to have my mother, who's a big inspiration to me, and also my father. He was also very creative. I remember back then when he was alive, was a big romantic, and weekly he would make a bouquet, a beautiful bouquet that he collected from the Transylvanian hills himself, and he would bring it to my mother. That's why nature inspires me a lot. Flowers are a very big aspect of my fashion because of the colors and the beautiful shapes of the flowers and the femininity and the beauty and the sensitive beauty that they bring is something that I really want to implement more in fashion and in lifestyle, to have a flowery life. I moved to Vienna in 2016. I always knew, ever since I was young, I knew I wanted to live in Austria. Often in the summer I used to spend the summer here because I have some relatives in Amstetten, and I fell in love with the Austrian culture, the punctuality, the precise way of working, the discipline, and yes, so my parents really, they supported me in this decision. And I remember back then when we were together with my mother, we were looking for schools that I can that I can enter in, and I found an internship as a dressmaker where I applied, and in 2016, end of 2016, I started my internship as a dressmaker. And 1 year after I started, I decided to change my workplace. I'm so blessed and honored that I found Schnittbogen. This is an open atelier where Michaela Königshofer is the owner, and I interviewed. I remember I applied, I had the interview, and the second day I had the job. So it was very, very fast process. That was one of the biggest treasures for me, to find this strong community from almost the beginning of my career as a dressmaker. When I started the internship, I was 20 years old, and when I started at Schnittbogen 1 year later, yes, I was 21, and this was 3 years the internship, and I finished it there. And this is also where I met Patricia at Schnittbogen, so it was really a place where I made so many valuable connections, friends, and even now I can say that this community feels more like a family to me. We have regularly collaborations, I visit, they visit. Yes, I feel very, very blessed, and to have this support from such wonderful people with so much knowledge in craftsmanship, in design, and yes, I think this is priceless in every, no matter what you work, I think it's priceless to have such a strong community. Right after I finished my internship at Schnittbogen, I decided I want to collect more experience, because fashion is such a broad job. You can do so many different things, you can specialize on so many different things, and I really wanted to take the time to work in bridal. I worked in Spain for almost 1 year. That's where I also learned the language, and I worked in theater 4 years after another. I worked at Salzburger Festspiele, at Bregenzer Festspiele, and I also worked in the opera in Vienna, and always I worked in the costume department to really see from each, to collect some experience for myself. For Barbara Pesendorfer, I also had the opportunity to work for film. That was also valuable experience that I got. So I really took, since 2016 until last year, I was employed always at least full time. I always worked so many hours, also 60 hours, especially in theater. It's very intense, but I always loved working because I know to really learn the craftsmanship, it takes a lot of time, and I was willing to invest that time because I always had in the back of my mind, one day I want to get there, I want to have my own label, I want to be self-sufficient, and I just wasn't sure in which direction to specialize myself. Working for Barbara Pesendorfer, Royal Black, I learned very much about corsets, history of corsets, historical costumes. That was, I can say, one of the most important collaborations that I had. It played a very important role on what I do today. Now I specialize on corsets, I modernize them a little bit, and yes, I think it was very important that I decided to take so many years to collect this experience. Then a few years ago I decided to make the masterclass that really opened up the door for me for so many other opportunities, but especially for the opportunity to build my own brand here in Vienna. With the support of my dear colleague Linda Sekol and many others, I finished my masterclass with Best Award. I'm really proud of that because I know how much energy, how many tears, how much time I invested in that, and so many days it felt like a mission impossible for me to get this degree. Finally, last year on 8th of August 2024, I decided to open up my own label and yes, give it a try, see if I can inspire you and if I can bring to life what I've learned. I decided to keep my family name Schuster in my brand Living because my parents, as I said, they always supported me so much in my decision of pursuing fashion, even though in Romania or in the small village I grew up, it wasn't recognized at all, and dressmakers had a very low stature in the society, but my parents, they really supported me. Actually, I'm Michelle German. I got married this year and I took the name of my husband, but for my label I decided to keep Michelle Schuster, to keep the name of my father and mother alive through my fashion. Always, if somebody asks me why am I doing what I'm doing, because yes, it does cost a lot of energy and I have a lot of pain. I'm young, but I already have back pain and it's not easy. It's not an easy career, exactly the opposite. But because of my passion, and I want to be the change I want to see in this world. That's something my father always used to tell me when I complained. So I don't complain, I try to be a light. So that's why I decided to name my first collection that I did this year, 2025. I gave it the name Lady of Light. In April this year, Clara, my colleague, Clara Neuber, also a fashion designer here in Vienna, she approached me and asked me if I can imagine to present at the Vienna Fashion Week. She would present and then I would present, so in the same package. I was so honored and thrilled because I wouldn't have come to this idea by myself. It's a very daring step, a very costing step also, and with support of so many people, and especially of Clara encouraging me, I decided to present my first collection at Vienna Fashion Week 2025. So I invite you dearly to come with me into my atelier together with Patricia, Vincent, and I will show you some highlights of my collection Lady of Light. I hope you like it. This is my collection Lady of Light.
How many pieces do you have?
So in total I have 15 outfits I made. Many pieces.
Each outfit.
Pieces. Each outfit, it's different. To be honest, I didn't even count how many pieces, because some of them is just one dress, others are layers. I have corsets, I have a top, I have an underskirt or overskirt,
and colors.
So it's very diverse. Yes, colors. I have many colors. I really love these structured colors. But first of all, before I present you some highlights, I want to talk a little bit about the fabrics, because the fabrics have a lot of meaning to me, emotional meaning. Most of them were lovingly collected by my mother from Transylvania, and yes, they all contain natural fibers. They have handmade Transylvanian flowery motifs, how you can see here. This was old tablecloth. I used a lot of old tablecloth, and I wanted to embrace the whole motif, so I didn't cut. I just cut to put the zipper inside, but mostly they are draped to really embrace the whole motif. And other fabrics were self-woven by the great-grandmother of my husband. So some of them are really over 100 years old. They carry a lot of traditions, a lot of craftsmanship, and I really wanted to bring those fabrics back to life.
Yes.
For example, the blouse that I'm wearing, the pattern that I used is from Romanian folk blouse, Romanian traditional blouse.
Ie.
It's called, yes, we call it Ie, you know. And I used the tablecloth that great-grandmother from Alexander, she wove it. And I made it a little bit shorter, so it has a modern twist. But yes, I really like it. It's very wearable. It carries lots of history, emotion, but it's still modern and very comfortable and fresh. And with the white color, it carries the light that I show throughout the collection. A very important role plays the color. I love vibrant colors. I'm a total pinky girl. I always have a little pink element in my outfit. This color inspired me from a very young age, because it's the color that my grandmother always wore. Even now when I visit her, she's almost 80 years old, but she always has a pink top or pink trousers. This color brings a lot of happiness with it.
So you will see here the color element, like a binding thread throughout the collection.
Yes. I love flower motifs also because my parents, they have a rose plantation in Transylvania, so roses play also a very big role in my life and my fashion. I'm excited to show you some flowery fashion.
Yes, I love everything. I love everything, and it's so difficult to pick just a few designs, creations, but you are going to see more during the fashion show. Microfonul e aici. We have a jacket here.
Yes.
What can you tell us?
This leather jacket carries lot of history. First, it was the fabric that I chose. It's pretty stiff leather that is actually made for accessoire, for little things to create, and it was a very daring move to make a jacket out of it, especially with me not having so much experience working with leather. So my colleagues out there will relate when I say that it was a real struggle to create this piece. It took me way longer than I thought it would take to sew. I shed a lot of blood, a lot of tears, a little emotional breakdown I had creating this garment, but when it was finally finished, it gave me the biggest satisfaction to have such a powerful, beautiful jacket. When you dress it, you feel like a warrior. It's very stiff and it holds you really straight. You cannot
Bend.
it gives you a posture directly.
But it also has feminine touches.
Yes,
the
it
flowers, the silk is soft.
Yes, yes.
I love it.
I try to implement the corset idea a little bit through this waist.
Yes.
I thought about the corset, and all my collection, all the outfits are waisted. Well, so you can see the beautiful waist of every woman. One of the highlights, here you are. One of the highlights is this skirt. It was actually a tablecloth that I also got from my mother. It has so many beautiful motifs. I even made some pockets. I really want my fashion to be also practical, that women can also use the pockets, and so many flower motifs that it has, and even the edge I sewed it on the outside so you really can see the whole skirt.
So it has a side slit. What?
Yes, it has also a side slit. You have lots of freedom of movement with it, and here some symmetrical folds in the waist. You have some symmetrical folds.
And what top you thought about?
I combined this skirt with the corset, an underbust corset that I made, and under the corset I had this lace top. Yes, so it was the lace top, then the corset, and then beautiful skirt. So many people said, that's my favorite piece, and I can understand why. You will understand what I mean, especially after you see a picture. So Patricia,
I'm going to insert the photographs.
Yes. Little balloon skirt that has many pleats. Another red thread in my collection are the repeated pleats. I want to give volume through pleats, so I can really have clean lines. I love clean lines. I made in the center like a little triangle, if you can see. And it also has pocket. Under it I had a beautiful skirt.
A natural cotton.
Yes,
it looks like a gauze.
Yes, exactly. As a top, another tablecloth. It was a smaller one, and I cut it in the middle to make the neckline. I padded it with some shoulders, so you have again these big warrior shoulders. And yes,
the label I see it's outside.
I put the label this time outside as a little detail, and I think it matches from the color also with the skirt and with the corset. Another underbust corset, also made out of leather, with the zipper in the middle, and yes, I love it. It's also
body hugging.
Totally, yes.
So, what do we have here?
Yes, the last outfit that I'm gonna show you. Pretty difficult to limit myself on what I present to you. For now, this is a beautiful little white dress. What is so special about it? It has no visible seams. So the whole lace, I have just one seam here, but it's not visible because I sewed it by hand. So it has a very harmonic upper body. The lace is handmade, also from Transylvania. It's very beautiful, and even if you look up close, you see it has so many different motifs, all flower motifs. So yes, I love it. But the most special part about this dress is the skirt part. I actually made out of napkins, out of old handmade napkins. This one is one of my favorite motifs. It's actually very beautiful rose, and yes, it's very flowy. If you look like this, you cannot recognize the napkins. Each napkin is different.
But they blend in so well
Yes,
together. It's also harmonious.
Some have colors, but mostly white. This is also a very special fabric. It used to be white, and I dyed it with onion, turmeric, and I actually made a skirt out of it that I can show you. It's up there, the third one. Yes, that's it. Thank you so much, Patricia. Yes, this is a skirt. It's completely made out of pleats and out of this special fabric. Also, the fabric is made from great-grandmother from my husband. And yes, I dyed it. You can see here the yellow tones of turmeric and the beautiful brownish tones from onion. So who knew? You can dye fabric with onions and avocado and kitchen ingredients. Yes. Das habe ich mit Avocado gefärbt. Habe ich einen Teil davon in einem Kleid verwendet. Also da liegen hunderte, zig Stunden an Arbeit drinnen. Also das ist wie meine Schatzauflage. Das ist auch voll schön. Kann man auch so als Kopftuch benutzen. If I awoken your interest and you'd like to wear one of these beautiful garments, I would be very happy to get an email, or you can also see my phone number on my website, and you can dearly contact me and we can start together a journey of creating a beautiful garment for you. You can also choose something from my collection, or I can make something new on your personal measurements. If you have a garment for me, you should know it's something special that you have for a lifetime, and always when you wear it, you have a self-confidence that shines on you directly.
Să uit ce a fost să fie, cântăm de dor și amar, că-am pus la inimă șar. Și atunci când doare, doar o întrebare e fără răspuns. Există zâmbete după iubirea ce-a pus. Lie ciocârlie să-mi spui tu mie, de ce zbori în vânt și dai de pământ. Lie ciocârlie, vino pe câmpie, să-mi cânt și mie, dor să nu mai fie. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, ca un vânt pierdut și cu foc dai de pământ. Dragostea ce ne-a legat, ca o pasăre a zburat. Și atunci când doare, doar o întrebare e fără răspuns. Există dragoste după iubirea ce-a pus. Mie ciocârlie să-mi spui tu mie de ce zbori în vânt și dai de pământ. Mie ciocârlie, vino pe câmpie să-mi cânt și mie dor să nu mai fie. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, zbori în vânt și dai de pământ. Mie ciocârlie, vino pe câmpie să-mi cânt și mie, du să nu